First fish I caught of the day was a 189. I mean, just a stellar fish to start the day off with. Beautiful black crappie. These fish in here, they get a lot bigger than this. Fishing in the wintertime, man, these fish really pull out of these creeks. They stay in the creek mouths and on these channels, and in these long creek channels running down through here. These fish will come out here, get out here schooled up chasing bait, and as you can see on a lot of times, you can run across these schools of fish, and you can have schools of fish out here that's got 75, 100, or even more fish in them. So when these fish school up, it makes it a little bit easier to catch them. But in wintertime, I like the tight line so I can get the baits to the depth the fish are at and really control the presentation we're putting into them. Tight line and spider rigging, yep. I like to use 15-foot Denali Brad Chapel trolling rods. They've got the sensitivity on the tip are amazing, and the backbone on these rods, you can boat flip about anything you want in it. I've boat flipped, 5, 6, 8 pound catfish and flip them right in the boat. Ice fish. Ice fish. Get back in here and then find these fish that are active. That's another thing too to really pay attention on when you're fishing this time of year, is if you're in an area that's got a lot of fish and the fish are not active and they're not eating, don't be afraid to pick up and move to another location. Find the fish that are feeding. Come back to that location later, give it a couple hours after lunch. If in the morning they're not biting, come back, but don't be afraid to move. Get to the fish that are feeding. Again, like I said, minnows, they probably hit them. We're trying to target some bigger fish moving through here now, but don't be afraid to leave a location, go somewhere else and come back. So what I like to start off with is a double minnow rig. And what it is an egg sinker. I like to run 3/4 ounce in the wintertime so I control the depths and see the bite a little better when they pop it. But we've got a hook on the bottom, egg sinker about 6, 8 inches up. Then we'll come up again about 18 inches or so with a 3-way swivel. I love running the Jinko 3-way swivels because this swivel can spin all the way around, and this minnow can literally swim in a circle around this thing without that line getting tangled up or knotted up. But you can get those from Jinko. I tie my own, but they do sell the rigs that are already pre-made as well. But this way we can cover 2 different depths of the water column. Don't be afraid when you're using these things to take a plastic. You don't have to have a jig head to run plastic. That's, so what I'll do is if I get these fish on jigs, I'll run that plain hook, just slide a jig up on it. Sometimes we'll tip them with a minnow and we'll do a dual presentation on them. You just gotta let the fish tell you what they want. Today we kind of went with just a jig presentation. We caught some fish and we caught some decent fish with it. Minnows, they'll tear them up. I mean, you put minnows on there and you get in front of the fish, they'll tear up with it. But we were targeting some bigger fish today with jigs and trying to get a little bit bigger bite. And a lot of times you're moving around out here like this, you'll catch these fish, you'll catch them 2 at a time. That's what we're doing a lot of times when we get into school. You'll catch them 2 at a time out here, and sometimes you want to keep a rod in the water. But this lake is full. I mean, it's got a good population of fish like this. Even these small fish, the shoulders on these fish are just thick. But we've got a good population of fish here in High Rock, and it's just awesome. If you can handle the cold or you don't mind the cold, the wintertime, in my opinion, is the best time to come out here and catch some good numbers of crappie. Because say when you hit a school, you can pull up and have 4 rods in the water and all of them have fish on them at one time. But these fish school up, it makes it a little bit easier to catch them in the wintertime, and it can be fun. I mean, we've caught fish today from 5, 6 inches long up to 12 inches. So I mean, it's just fun to feel that bite and catch the fish.
So you kind of switched tactics a little bit here now. What are you doing?
Yeah, right now I'm trying to target. I went back to single pole and where I could try to target a couple bigger fish. See if we can get these fish reacting a little different.
Was that typical what you try to do this time of year?
A lot of times spider rigging on there, but a lot of times too, whenever I go out, we're tournament fishing. We're single poling is about all we're doing when we're tournament fishing. we're trying to get that bigger fish segregated out of the group. You get back to feeling that thump on that rod whenever they hit it, you not half. Little better fish. Like an old crane or something's been after him. He missing a spot on his back. Pretty fish. Man, the wintertime fishing, fall into the winter, the boat traffic is gone. Other than your avid fishermen, water temperatures cool down, these fish get hungry and they just start eating, and they'll stack up and school up. As you can see here, these fish start to school up really well as these water temperatures start to drop below 50 degrees. These fish will school up and you can really come out and catch a lot of fish and have a lot of fun doing it. If you can bear the cold weather and get it done, bring the kids out in wintertime because you can catch some numbers of fish and really have a good time with them.
Yeah, and it's not that cold.
No, it's not. You get your cool mornings. A lot of times on my trips in the wintertime, we'll start 8, 9 o'clock, and we usually run half days, 3/4 days at the most. Let the sun come up, let it get warmed up a little bit, at least where the sun will hit you. And it makes for a lot better day. Them mornings where it's 7:30, and it's 30 degrees. It gets a little cool, but it don't bother me. But you gotta come out here and get them. If you got any questions, need any advice, give me a call if you want to book a trip. Shane Walser, Yakin Lake Crappie Guides, 978-3737. Let these big fish go.